Hello guys, and welcome to Season 2 of the Penny Podcast. I'm Andrés. I'm in 12th grade, and I am the Coppell Student Media Web Producer.
My name is Sarah Wu. I'm in 12th grade, and I am a staff writer.
If this is your first time tuning in, the Penny Podcast is a weekly podcast that incorporates interview, conversational, and communal elements.
This week, our CSM highlight goes to Camila Villareal for her article, Part of Modern Culture is Normalizing Lack of Privacy, published under our opinion section. A portion of her article reads, "The World Wide Web has always been at the tip of your fingers. In 1983, when the internet was introduced, computers were the size of a small suitcase. Today, they slide into your pocket and are thinner than a Pop-Tart packet. Because we are capable of so much with just a tap of a button, it is easy to assume the internet has as much access to you as you do to it." To read the rest of Camila's piece, head over to coppellstudentmedia.com.
This week on One Shot, Kanye West is set to release his 9th studio album, Jesus is King, this Friday under his record label, Good Music. This release follows up his much-acclaimed records, Yay and Kids See Ghosts, which both released summer of 2018. Sarah, what are your thoughts on Kanye?
For this upcoming album, there have always been these religious references in lots of his albums in the past, but I'm excited to see what kind of genre he's gonna get into this time because it does seem very heavily gospel focused, and if not religious focused. So if it does follow through in the way he presents his music, that'd be really exciting to hear.
Yeah, I'd love to see his take on gospel, more so than what he did on the life of Pablo. Kind of like how Chance did it, but the Kanye West way.
Right.
Now, on to the main show. Please tell us your name, your grade, and your favorite color.
My name is Riley Shultz. I'm an 11th grader. My favorite color is lavender.
Oh, nice. For how long have you been involved with Taekwondo?
I've been involved since I was in 4th grade, so probably about 8-ish years. So, yeah.
Nice.
And why did you choose Taekwondo rather than jiu-jitsu or boxing or all those other ones?
Okay, so it started with soccer, but I wasn't interested, so my dad was trying to find a bunch of sports for us to do. First was golf because he thought it'd be cool, but it's expensive. So Taekwondo, he wanted us to be able to protect ourselves and defend ourselves. So Taekwondo seemed like the best choice for sports for us.
That's awesome. For how long have you been an instructor?
I've been an instructor since I was in 8th grade. Yeah.
And what is it like being an instructor with all these kids and teaching them?
It's very mind-opening because before I was one of those kids and now all of a sudden I'm teaching them what I was trying to learn. So just getting the hang of that at first was a little difficult, and it's a lot of muscle memory rather than learning what to do because you've already gone through it. So that was also something I had to learn as I go. And then overall, where I am now after about 4 years of doing this, it's just become easier, and you make connections with the students, which is really nice, and you see them around. So just building your own little community from that as well.
Do you get to build emotional connections with your students?
For sure. There is a few that want to get close to you as an instructor, and they're just that committed. And then, of course, there are the others that don't care, but you can really tell who the committed ones are and the ones that you will build relationships with.
Awesome.
And I'm sure you've been doing this on a really consistent basis. So do you ever get tired from doing that so much?
Oh, yeah. When I was a color belt before I am, or I am now a 3rd year or so, I didn't want to go as often because when we started sparring, or we're fighting with the gear on or whatever, I hated hitting and I didn't like getting hit. And so I wanted to quit at a point like that, but then my parents always said, you should try anyway, push through, and if in the end you still can't handle it, then don't do it. But I pushed through, and that's how I am now. I just got to keep pushing through. I mean, there's never such a low point that I want to quit. It just does get tiring once in a while.
Mm-hmm. And how much training does it take to keep up with your peers or fellow instructors?
To keep up with them, it's just pretty much going 3 to 4 days a week, just getting that regular practice in to get your forms down, sparring, keeping that practice up, keeping your fitness so that you don't fall behind them.
And you know how you mentioned how you had to go on to that belief that you can't give up, especially in terms of Taekwondo. And so has that affected also your personal and academic life?
Of course. Yeah, in school there's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of points you want to give up on all these taking APs or doing electives, but you don't have time for that, and just pushing through and getting the things you want will persevere in the end and get you a better lifestyle in the end too when you're going off to college and everything. And getting these things done and pushing through will just help in the end building you as a person.
Do you ever view things more as an instructor than a student when in school?
In school, I'm not sure about viewing as an instructor because I'm all about just learning from my teacher or instructor. So I guess in that way, no. But when I am in the setting of being an instructor in Taekwondo, for sure, when I'm a student at Taekwondo, I always think, how can I help others in class, but not at school, really.
Do you hope to continue being a part of martial arts for the rest of your life, possibly?
I wouldn't say the rest of my life, but I like the qualities that it teaches you, so I will use those for the rest of my life. But right now, it is just a school sport for me. I don't see pursuing it in any way as like my future as an instructor, but I do like the qualities that it teaches you.
And on a base level, what makes Taekwondo different from other sports?
I believe other sports is learning the physical component and just playing and strategizing, and I feel that's majority of what sports do. But Taekwondo, you do learn certain techniques, and it's a lot of muscle memory like other sports are, but it does teach you a lot of components, like I said, in character building. Especially at my school, they do try and incorporate life lessons into why you're doing this. It is defense, you shouldn't misuse it. So in that way.
I've heard people label Taekwondo as a discipline sport. Would you say that that's true?
It is a lot. I would say partly. A lot of people like to go there just to learn it and have defense skills, and then a lot of parents put their children in for the discipline as well, because we do teach those components of discipline as well.
Awesome.
So what would you advise to someone who wants to start Taekwondo?
I would advise them to go in with confidence and persevere through. It is a really cool thing to learn and to have a skill set for the future, and it does teach you things other than the sport itself. So I think it would overall be a well-rounded sport to do.
Awesome. Thanks to my co-host Sarah, special thanks to our guest Riley, and thank you all for joining us in the 22nd episode of the Penny Podcast. Links to all the material we mentioned today can be found below. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Yay!
Appreciate it.
Good job, Riley.
That's
That was
good.
awesome.
That made me so mad.